Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do.
This is what kicking the shit out of fascism looks like.
Try to prevent the spread of the lawlessness and the fascist chaos that's been unleashed against us.
So when we say Donald Trump is a fascist, fascism, a huge component of fascism is uniting racism, bigotry, a form of racist nationalism.
We are now living in a fascist dictatorship.
We are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country. We're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government.
Not only to roll over to Donald Trump's will, but to roll over our democracy and allow him to take over this country as a fascist dictator.
When fascism isn't just coming, it's already here.
The former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Mark Milley, said, "No one has ever been more dangerous to this country than Donald Trump, and he is a fascist to his core."
Welcome to World Insight Hub. The left loves to tell us to lower the temperature in politics, to calm down the rhetoric, to play nice. But like Scott Jennings makes clear in the clip you're about to see, the whole both sides are equally guilty story is a lie. That debate is finished. On his radio show, Jennings was pushed into the same recycled script, the one where media hosts insist political violence and incitement come from both left and right. But this wasn't Scott Jennings playing the polished CNN commentator. This was Jennings raw, unfiltered, and ready to fight back with the truth. Before we dive into the full story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Now, let's watch Jennings shut it down and show exactly what kind of world we're living in today.
People come along to lecture conservatives about toning down the rhetoric and this and that, whether it happens on the left or whether it happens on the right, and no matter who the victims are, somehow we're always told that it's conservatives who are the problem and that they need to tone down the rhetoric. Meanwhile, you have people like Senator Chris Murphy from Connecticut, who the day before Charlie was shot, in an interview said that we're at war and you have to be able to do whatever you need to do to win the war. You had Tim Walz the other day telling a crowd that he was hoping to wake up one day to news that Donald Trump had died. You had Seth Moulton, a congressman from Massachusetts, on TV this morning lecturing conservatives that they're the real problem. Now, it's our friend that's dead. There's a lot of causes on the left right now that are causing people to engage.
Okay, and equally
at a minimum,
on the
rhetoric.
right as well, though, Scott. Equally on the right as well. Can we at least
Listen,
be fair about this?
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I have no time and no quarter for any criticisms of Republicans or conservatives or Donald Trump or Charlie Kirk or any other both sidesing this. It's our friend who's dead, shot in the throat while doing what we're supposed to do as Americans, which is engage in civil discourse. He goes to a college, not known, colleges are not known as hotbeds of conservatism. He goes to a college to engage in civil discourse, and now he's dead because that's what he did. So I really don't have any time for both sidesing this today. It's our friend that's dead because he was doing what you're supposed to do as an American. Talk, use your voice, use your words, use your powers of reasoning, debate, speech. That's what we do as Americans. And now our friend's dead, and you want to lecture me about Donald Trump or
I'm not
conservatives
lecturing
or
you.
both
I guess
sides?
I'm just saying.
It tells me you don't really get what's happening, and
well, no,
I'm happy to explain it to you, but you clearly don't get
I
it.
am, Scott, seeking to understand how, if this is not a time for rhetoric, if it is a time to remember your friend who he's been assassinated. There is no words to express how awful that act was and is. No words. And if this is a time for respectful discourse, why is a Fox News anchor saying this is war? Why is Steve Bannon saying Kirk is a casualty of war?
That's the way it feels. It feels like that on the left right now, there is increasing amount of violent rhetoric. There is an increasing amount of people who have decided that debate and politics are useless and that they need to take it to another level. That's the way it feels to conservatives. And do you know why it feels that way? Because our friend was shot in the throat and murdered in cold blood. That's why it feels that way. Because our president last summer was nearly assassinated.
I decided not to show the clips of leftists celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. I thought about it, but I couldn't sit through them, let alone put them in front of you. I've seen enough already, And every time I come across one, I scroll past because they make me physically sick. And I have to ask, how much more do liberals need to see before they admit their movement has aligned itself with hate and violence? When I first started paying closer attention to politics, the first thing I noticed was how obsessed Democrats were with telling everyone how tolerant and loving they were. But if you have to keep telling people who you are, you probably aren't that thing. It's like someone insisting over and over they're classy when their actions show the opposite. People see through it. Millions of Americans have now seen those disgusting celebrations. For many, this was the breaking point. I've seen lifelong Democrats saying, "I'll never vote blue again after what happened to Charlie Kirk." And that gives me hope. It shows there are still people willing to stop, reflect, and ask whether their party or their beliefs truly reflect their values. To those people, I say welcome. You're choosing the side of what's right. I'll be honest with you. I'm still not okay. I'm struggling to put into words everything I feel, and maybe I never fully will. But I will keep speaking out. I will keep standing up, and I will keep honoring Charlie by doing what he did best, telling the truth. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. If you believe in what we're doing here, subscribe to the channel, share this video, and keep spreading the message. The more of us who stand together, the harder it is for hate to win. Rest in peace, Charlie.